guys, how's it going?
So when it comes to Mualani, there's been two strong opinions about her. She's either really fun to play, or she's extremely frustrating to play. So it begs the question, is she actually annoying to play, or is it just user error? Let's get into it. So I would say there's about 3 things that people think are frustrating about Mualani. One is missing enemies. So she'll miss her enemies with the skill and with the burst. If there's something in the way of you and the enemy, the burst will just kind of smash into the wall or like a Zhongli pillar. It won't actually connect with the enemy. Number 2 is the actual missiles that are supposed to hit in an AoE situation. So the way she works is you'll bash into one enemy, and the other enemies that she marked, she'll have like these heat-seeking, like, water missiles that hit the other 2 characters. Sometimes that just doesn't work. So people feel as if those first 2 are just bugs. They feel like those first 2 are just things that they're going to change in the future. We might get apologems for. It's an actual bug with the character. But it also could just be intended. And it could just be the probability of playing Mualani. It could just be a thing that is inherently in her kit where, hey, sometimes things just don't pan out the way you want it to. But I will say it does kind of look a little fishy, no pun intended. But number 3, and finally, is not so much of a bug, but just a mechanic. The pufferfish. It's called Heat Resistant Freshwater Floater. What this does is once you have all 3 stacks, you'll bash into an enemy, and after that happens, this pufferfish will appear, and it'll kind of be away from you. And it's going to try and make its way toward you. You need to pick that thing back up to get 20 more Night Soul points. The reason why you need 20 more Night Soul points is because the Night Soul points is what's keeping you in your skill. So once you run out of that meter, you're done playing Mualani. You're just standing there now. So people feel as if they're being robbed from playing the character because of this mechanic, and it's actually just kind of, aggravating to some players because you don't get to do your 3rd hit. You can do the 1 and the 2 pretty reliably, but that 3rd hit, you need those Night Soul points to do. I've seen some people pull off 4 hits, but the main thing at hand is that people are frustrated with the pufferfish being blocked by enemies, being blocked by the environment, and they can't actually get to the pufferfish in time to get those Night Soul points to keep her skill going. Because unlike in Gaming's situation, it says after bashing its target, Manchai will roll to a nearby location before moving towards Gaming. It's exactly like the pufferfish, right? The only thing about Gaming is this is his burst. With Mualani, it's her skill. So the burst's on a cooldown for Gaming, which means he just won't get as many plunges as he would be able to if you got the Manchai faster. With Mualani, if you don't pick up the pufferfish, you're just done. So there's a big difference there, This is his burst, and that's Mualani's skill with how it works with her. So that's why people find it frustrating, because you're getting ready to do your entire setup, and you're gonna do the 3 hits, and then you don't get it for whatever reason, and now you just kind of have to wait for the next one, So those are the 3 reasons why people find her to be very frustrating to play. So what do you think? Do you think those are actually bugs that I mentioned earlier in the video? Are those actually things that we need to let High-Risk know about or put in a report about? Are those actual bugs, or do you just think it's just the way the character is meant to be played? I'd say the AoE missiles not firing sometimes. I haven't really had it happen myself too often, but I have seen it obviously, and that does seem a little odd. But the missile missing, that could just be, the probability of playing Mualani and just the mechanics of the game. You know what I mean? Maybe sometimes things just don't work out the way you want it to, possibly, right? So no, I would not say that it's a skill issue if you're having these problems. I think just wait it out. Only time can tell if it's actually a bug or if they'll just leave it how it is. But yeah, I feel like if it was a bug, they probably would have addressed it already. But either way, I just think that it's kind of in the middle. Wait a little bit longer, see what's up. But that's the reasons why people are frustrated, and that's kind of the bugs that are going on with Mualani. The closest thing I've ever had to that is this right here. I was playing the Abyss, and you can see that enemy got before I could actually bash into him. and that's why she didn't hit anything. You can see he dies and like, you know, go forward, it doesn't hit. But besides that, I have had the burst missed a couple times, but you know, I just feel like it's, like I said, something's in the way or there's collision involved, things like that. So, but by all means, for all the clips that I've seen, it doesn't seem like it's the player's fault, to be honest. Now, for me personally, in my own experience, I didn't really like her in combat as much, but I loved her in exploration for Natland. Not so much anywhere else, but just in Natland specifically, you know, and I did not regret the pull because of the exploration aspect. But now she's kind of grown on me in the combat sense as well, and now I'm having a good time with that. It took me a while to find like a good team for her on my account, but this right here is my favorite Mualani team for sure. Like, I love this team, you know. And what I like so much about Mualani is she kind of makes you create a different team that you typically wouldn't play. It's actually very similar to like Ganyu Melt if you think about it, except you're not melting, you're vaping. Nowadays it's the Furinas, it's the Bennetts, it's the Kazuas, you know what I mean? It's the Nahida, you know what I mean? And nowadays, like, or with Mualani specifically, there's none of them here. And she still performs exceptionally well, right? So it made me appreciate Emilie so much more than I originally did. I already appreciated her enough, but now with Mualani, it just makes so much more sense. And I thought it was going to be Kanich, ironically enough, but we'll see when he's out. And if you guys follow me, you know that I absolutely love Dehya. And unfortunately, we don't really have many pyro off-field applicators in the first place. But just Mualani making someone like Dehya a go-to pick, it's just great. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes it's about the characters, teams, and who they want as their teammates. So that's what's cool. I mean, like, just these three characters, right? Like, I've been using Emilie, but I haven't been using Baizhu much at all, right? And Dehya I do use a lot, but that's just me. So yeah, it's just cool for Mualani to actually have a team that works very well within characters who you don't really see too often, you know? So in this situation, I have like Baizhu on Fav, instructor set. This is a very, very big deal for Mualani to have somebody who has instructors on the team, right? Baizhu has no cons, just, you know, healing. As for Dehya, it's very important to have Sacrificial Greatsword because her skill has a very long cooldown. Even with all the cons, it doesn't really help the cooldown as much. Having like a high refined Sacrificial Greatsword is awesome because it just allows you to keep on having that power application and casting it again before, you know, it's too late. And in artifacts, doesn't really matter, to be honest. Just, you know, I had her on DPS, like a vape build and stuff like that, but yeah, doesn't really matter. Nothing really matters here for the application. And yeah, so. And then last but not least, Emilie is just on a deathmatch or Blackcliff a gate I usually use. Or not a gate, but Blackcliff pole. I don't have her weapon because I knew we were getting a better weapon banner system in 5.0, so I was like, I'll wait for the rerun. And then, of course, Unfinished Reverie, the Burning set, no cons, and then just, yeah, 8 and 10. Mualani, Surf's Up, which worked out because I wanted Emilie's, but I didn't keep going because the banner changed, right? And then when it changed, I said, oh, I'll go grab this one. Obsidian Codex, kind of a boring set in my opinion. I don't really like ones that just kind of give you a bunch of crit rate because I feel like it could be something totally different. I feel like I'm already farming to get crit rate, so to just get free crit rate, it's cool, don't get me wrong, it's great, but just kind of boring IMO. You know, it's like, think about it, all the artifact set is doing is just giving you crit rate. Like, it could do something extraordinary, something really cool, something wild, something different, but it's like, oh no, here's just some crit rate, you know? So definitely a good set, but I kind of found Martius 8 Hunter and Obsidian Codex kind of on the boring end because it's just like, hey, here's a bunch of crit rate. No cons, and double 9 for her. But yeah, so she grew on me. She grew on me, but to be fair, you know, it was kind of quick because she's been out for like a week, and it took a while to actually build her. But yeah, pretty good character. I think she will be rough to play for a lot of like casual players or for most people. And I feel like some people may hear about her missteps and some of those bugs we mentioned and probably just skip her or wait for the rerun. But overall, I do like Mualani. My first impressions of her were up and down, but I'd say I like her now. So it's good. That'll be all for me though. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will catch you guys in the next one.